Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. Welcome back to the program, folks. How y'all doing out there? 24. Welcome back to the program, folks. How y'all doing out there? 24. Welcome back to the program, folks. How y'all doing out there? Really getting old. Really getting old. All right, that's better. Well, sound wasn't good on this end, Dylan. Thank you for that, but I had to change it. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. It is November 27th, 2024. Time for a little bit of news. Was going to start early, as I usually do on Wednesday, but I didn't sleep very well last night, and actually only got a couple hours sleep. I was in a lot of pain last night. So I got up later than I normally do and didn't get to exercise and did not get to have enough preparation time to start earlier. Anyway, welcome back. Charles Van Olsland, Val Cooper's here. Nick Muller, Garrett Gillich, Sue Walsh, Dave Barham, George, Pablo, Charlie, Erica. Welcome back, Erica. Angus, William McBean. Wow, where you been, man? Haven't seen you in a while, at least in the chat. Ken Anderson, no Wednesday with the Colonel. Yeah, no, there's Wednesdays with the Colonel. Why are you asking that question, Ken? That's why, because it's short. Yeah, it's shorter today. You're correct. It would have been at 10:30, which would have been 5:30 South African time. No, I was in searing pain from my hip area last night, and it just kept me awake most of the night. It didn't matter what I did. I finally found a position where I could get my leg in a certain way that it just wouldn't be in pain, but it was difficult, so it took a while. Well, Meerkat, the interview with Conscious Caracle's not till next year. He doesn't want to do it till next year. So you got a long anticipation there, brother. I'm not sure why he wants to wait that long. He wants to wait until after the inauguration. I'm not really sure why. That's whatever. That's fine. Yeah, so there will be ones as the Colonel. Just a short one today because just like I said, I'm not feeling very well. So I have a lot of news prep, and I'm not going to have time to do a night owls because I have to go prep for the Doe and Buck night for the Veterans Organization. So that really looks like this side is shorter than this side. I really need to trim that down a little bit so make it even. Anyway, yeah. So I don't have time this afternoon to do a night owls, and I've already researched the news, and there's a lot of news to talk about. So maybe tonight, if I'm not exhausted late in the night, I might do a late night broadcast, which is an early morning broadcast for South Africans, and give you the news that I didn't cover today. But I did want to talk about these idiots. Oh, Ken, thank you for your concern. I appreciate it. It's gotten progressively worse here. I need to go back to the VA and get reevaluated for disability on this because it's becoming debilitating. I heard a lot when I was exercising yesterday. Boy, it was painful for a while. Yeah, also changing the gait of my walk, and so I have to force myself not to let my leg turn and keep walking straight, just because turning takes the pain away, but it does not accomplish what I need to accomplish. Anyway, so yeah, don't cry for me, Argentina. Everyone has their aches and pains and niggles and this, that, and the other. I've had a very fortunate life where I've taken good care of myself and not had many major issues. Anyway, but back to the story at hand. Dumb and Dumber. But before we get into Dumb and Dumber, let's just look at something just bat crap stupid. This is what happens when you have woke flag officers who are there to protect their privilege, their rank, their appointments, their influence, and their incredibly large pensions, which are much larger than mine. Not that I have a tiny one, but much larger pensions than mine. And then also their ability to access corporate boards after their service is over. But this is an Air Force general explaining why DEI is a good thing for the Air Force. This was an Air Force broadcast, and it's just shocking how idiotic this is. Okay, how do we get to the wrong place here? Hang on a second here. I wound up in the wrong place. Here we go. So this is U.S. Air Force general being interviewed about DEI. It's about 2 minutes long. So let's just cover this. You're going to find this quite bizarre, I think. That's my thoughts on it. So let me get myself up on the smaller screen here. There we go. I don't know why I can't do this on the other channel. It doesn't let me set the camera to do this. So I always have to turn one on and turn the other off. It's very awkward. This way here I can turn them on and off, at will, and I'm on both cameras, which is the way it's supposed to be. This software can be challenging at times. Volume is too low. Okay, well, it was too high. Volume is good. Everybody's got different settings. Leah says, sorry, I don't feel well. Living with pain is crap. It is, Leah. It is. And I've been fortunate to avoid it most of my life. Okay, let's get to this video. And then we got a couple more videos. And I'll get a bit of news out for you guys before we wrap this thing up. I'm going to Ronaldo at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so this is an Air Force video. And let me, it's not important, the guy on the right interview him. In fact, let me just put myself up in front of him. You don't need to see him. You don't even see him at all. So let's just do this, okay? There you go. You don't even need to see that Air Force enlisted person. You just see me there. All right, so here we go. This is Lieutenant General Kevin Schneider from the Air Force, and this is what he has to say.
The next category of questions received a lot of attention from our members, and that is diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'd love to start with that first question is, sir, there's a widespread desire to incorporate DE&I across the American landscape.
No, there's not a widespread desire across the American landscape to incorporate this racist, bigoted, exclusive, and unequal treatment of Americans based on their gender, their orientation, or their origin. There is no widespread appeal for that. This is nonsense. This is an uninformed member of the Air Force who really doesn't know what they're talking about.
What does the Department of the Air Force hope to achieve in incorporating DE&I policies?
Yeah, I think the short answer on that, we could go way deep on this, but the
short answer on that is it's all bullshit. There's your short answer. It's not diverse, it's not equitable, and it's not inclusive. It is a lack of diversity, is an exclusion of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant males in particular, but white Anglo-Saxons in general. That is racist, that's exclusion, and it is not inclusion, it is exclusion, and there's no equity here whatsoever. It's inequality. It is giving people advantages based on immutable factors, which is the pure definition of racism.
Short answer is we want the best, most capable force that we can get.
And you get that by simply hiring the best people with the best skills, the best scores, the best physical fitness, and the best motivation and loyalty to the nation. You don't get it giving somebody an advantage because they're black or they're gay or they're lesbian or they're trans or they're from Lithuania. You get it by picking the best people based on merit. Case closed. Finished in Clar. Nothing go beyond that. Now, I don't want to hear what gobbledygook the general is going to give us now, but let's go on.
Trying to eliminate the barriers, open the doors and making sure that,
I'm sorry. What barriers are there to enlistment? You want to eliminate the barriers? What? The one that requires you have 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 eyes, and have vision and hearing? You want to eliminate those barriers? What barriers are you trying to eliminate? Are there? First off, let's ask this question. This general wants to eliminate the barriers against people that are supposedly protected by DI. Does that mean he's admitting that the Air Force has policies that prevent gays, lesbians, transgender, blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Asians from some sort of access, or whites from some sort of access to the Air Force? What a crock of horse manure. Every single American can go to a recruiting station, and if they meet the standards, which are not based on race, gender, or ethnicity, they can enter the Air Force. Case closed. So what barriers are you removing, General? You're telling us you have barriers? That would be illegal.
That we can do that. We can have the best, most capable force that our nation can provide. And I think all too often that we have had limitations, either policy limitations that provide barriers, or we have not done the work with the American public to highlight the opportunities that
we have. Policy barriers. The only policy barrier here is the combat exclusion zone, which is not a barrier that the military established. So, General, you're being dishonest. That barrier was put up by Congress. The United States Congress mandated the combat exclusion. The United States Congress mandated the combat probability. The United States Congress, members of Congress, elected officials are the ones who decided that women could not be in combat roles, not the U.S. military, not the U.S. military, not the U.S. military. So what barriers are you talking about? What policy barriers? Is there a policy preventing lesbians from being fighter pilots? I'm not aware of one. What policy barriers? And what are you educating the American public on? Are you educating that we don't have barriers? Because you seem to be very confused, Lieutenant General Schneider.
That come with military service, or specifically service in the United States Air Force. So we are getting after both of those. And ultimately, that's really what DEI is getting after. Not identifying the barriers that are currently exist, getting messaging out to the public as to what opportunities do exist, and then just
okay, getting opportunities out to the public as to what opportunities exist in the Air Force is not DEI. It's called recruiting. It's called recruiting, General. What does that have to do with DEI? Again, what barriers? What barriers are you removing? Please identify them. There are none. This is fiction. That's bullshit. This is racist, exclusionary bigotry. And you're endorsing it by pretending that it's real, by sitting there. There are no barriers in military service. The fact that 18% of generals in the U.S. Army are black proves there's no barriers when you consider the fact that less than 7% of officers in the U.S. military entering every year in the U.S. Army are actually black. Yet somehow they make up 1 out of 5 when they're less than 1 out of 10 in the general population. To me, it seems like an over-representation of black generals, an over-representation. So what barriers are there? The barriers are to the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants who you're excluding based on DEI, not based on merit. My goodness.
Drawing the talent that we need to continue to excel as a force.
And sir, given that you are director of staff, do you have any guidance or input for CGOs on how do we better understand when we've made considerable gains with respects to diversity, equity, and inclusion?
I'm sorry, what gains have we made? Men dressed as women, wearing women's skirts with men's accents, men's Adam's apples, men's genitalia, getting soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines in trouble because they're not calling them ma'am or sir when yesterday they were ma'am or sir. How is that making the force better? How is that making it combat ready? How does that affect operational readiness? It doesn't. It's a fantasy of perverted minds.
Yeah, this is the answer probably to a number of questions, and I don't mean to shortchange it by giving you this almost of a platitude of an answer. When we when we can stop having meetings about it, or when we can stop having, specific focused discussions on it, and it becomes part of our DNA, then we've achieved success.
I'm sorry, part of our DNA, we've achieved success. Really? Really? How about you do the following? You just drop it all together. There's no need for it. This is what's wrong with the military. This is what Pete Hegseth is talking about. This is what people who are leaders are upset about. This is what people who've served in our nation's armed forces and defended our nation's freedom and protected the world for the past century are angry about. This garbage. Here's another little tidbit. Isn't it interesting how in many Army units, I can't speak for other services, the equal opportunity NCO or officer is almost always a black man or black woman? Why is that? Why are only black members of uniformed service the ones who are responsible for ensuring that equal opportunity policies are adhered to? I wouldn't pick someone based on them being black. I would pick them based on being the best person available for the position, based on work schedules, talent, desire, drive, and a capability. And that's how I did things when I ran things. So you had a mix of people. Wow. So anyway, that's enough of that. Now we're going to talk about Dumb and Dumber. No, I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about actors, so-called actors who are in Turin for the International Film Festival there in Turin. And the things they're saying about America, and I'm going to have to interrupt this frequently because these people are stupid. First of all, I need to look up one fact. Let me see. Okay. All right, yeah. So there you go. So I looked this up. Yeah. So because Sharon Stone opens her crap hole, her cake hole, and she says Americans that don't have passports, they don't know anything about the world. 51% of Americans have passports. That's 171 million valid U.S. passports. 171 million. That is more than the population of 3/4 of the countries on the planet, or more. 80% of the countries. Yet she's going to disparage us because she's got a cake hole and she can open it. Once upon a time, she spread her legs and revealed her VJ on camera, and that made her famous in the only movie she ever did of any note. Yep. Let's go to the tape. We're going to talk about this. This is this woman. So we'll start with her. Hers is 2 minutes long, and then we'll get to Alec Baldwin. His is a little bit shorter, about 2 minutes. So, let's start with this hideous-looking creature who hates America and should frankly stay in Italy. Listening to her preaching to Americans, and I'm just going to square this away for you and explain to you some differences here about how stupid this woman really is. Stupid. And these people get oxygen, and it's important for me to do this to refute the garbage. That's why I'm covering it. That crotch shot was a double. Yes, it was. No, I wasn't speaking about Joe and Kamala. Yeah, Sharon Stone is exactly what she is. So Rai Television has got their microphone for her. Look at these two idiots enraptured by her. Two morons who are half her age that don't know what the hell's going on with life. But let's go ahead and talk to this twit, Sharon Stone. Let me move back down here so I'm out of the way. Here we go.
Italy has seen fascism. Italy has seen these things.
Yes, Italy has seen fascism, and the Italians embraced fascism. They brought Mussolini in with great joy and love for Mussolini. Only after they got their asses kicked did they have a problem with fascism. They know what fascism is because they were fascist. By and large, most Italians were fascist a century ago. She knows. They know that. I moved myself up so you can see the text at the bottom. So watch what she has to say. But she's implying that America is now heading to an era of fascism. These morons actually believe this horse manure.
You guys, you understand what happens.
Yeah, because they were fascists.
You've seen this before.
Yes, because they're fascists.
My country is in its adolescence.
Okay, let's just move over here and address this. My country is in its adolescence. Ladies and gentlemen, does anyone know when Italy became a country? Let's do a poll. I'll ask a question. When did Italy become a country? Anybody know? Anybody know when Italy became a country? What about America? All right. What about America? When did America become a country? Yep. Anybody know? 1836. Good guess, Light Rain, but not correct. Yeah, they're referring to him as a fascist now. 1880 says Arc Precision. It's incorrect. When did she's talking about America's in its adolescence, as if Italy is a country that formed much sooner, much earlier than the United States. 1861, Neville Purdon, I think you looked it up. It is 1861. Italy unified for the first time as a nation in 1861. The United States became a nation in 1776. And this preening, gasbag, arrogant hag has the audacity to lecture and tell us that we are in our adolescence. We are just juveniles. You are an experienced country. No, they're not. And since they've become a country, they went through a period of monarchy, empire, racism, bigotry, fascism, and participation in 2 world wars, one of which they provoked. There you go. A lying hag is what she is.
Adolescence is very arrogant.
No, you're very arrogant.
Adolescence thinks it knows everything.
You think you know everything.
Adolescence is naive.
You're a moron.
And ignorant and arrogant.
You're arrogant.
And we are in our ignorant, arrogant adolescence.
I mean, honestly, what a scumbag. What an absolute, disgusting, vile, hideous piece of human filth she is. Yep, Sharon Stone. What a moron. What an absolute moron. What she's describing, if you want to make that claim, would be the previous 4 years we've just lived through, the national nightmare that destroyed the world.
We haven't seen this before in our country. So Americans who...
Oh, but we have seen this before in our country. What I'm referring to, not what she's referring to. She's referring to an event that hasn't occurred, the future under Donald Trump. I'm referring to the past 4 years under Joe Biden. We've seen under Joe Biden, we saw it under Franklin Delano Roosevelt. We have seen fascism play out. We have seen President Lincoln, a Republican president, suspend habeas corpus and keep people in prison indefinitely. We have seen fascism rear its head in America before. Yeah, she's just a moron. I don't know. Did she graduate high school or was she in the backyard on her knees? You tell me. Was she by the swing set on her knees during her high school years? Or did she even go to high school?
don't travel, who 80% don't have a passport, who are
80% don't have a passport, don't travel. 171 million American citizens own passports. It's a fact you can look up for yourself, folks. Do a Google search and look it up. You will find that 171 million valid passports are currently in circulation for American citizens, not green card holders, not permanent residents, not illegal aliens, not the fantasy 35 million fraudulent criminals invade our country, but 171 million Americans, representing over 50% of the population. This moron says that 80% of Americans don't have passports. Uneducated. Hey, fuck you, Sharon Stone. That's right. I said it right here. Fuck you. Uneducated. I grew up in Appalachia, had no electricity and a outhouse, a privy to go to the toilet in my high school years, had no money to pay for sports, had no car, had nothing, lived off of public assistance and small scale farming. And I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, another master's degree, another master's degree, and just completed a program on beekeeping at Michigan State University. Have taught undergraduate, Iowa State, and postgraduate at the War College, and have taught government agencies. Uneducated. I speak 6 languages. This dipshit twit probably can't speak anything beyond her arrogant version of American English. Unbelievable. Uneducated. This shithead is uneducated.
uneducated are in their extraordinary naivete. What I can say
is this is an airhead, dingbat, dumbass, prick, full of herself, and she should shut her cake hole. She should shut her cake hole. In their naivete. You're not naive. You're a propagandist.
is that the only way that we can help with these issues is to help each other.
Oh, well, that's profound. Is to help each other. What, like give Italy preferential diplomatic status? To rebuild Italy after the Second World War? To have diplomatic relations? Oh, by the way, the government of Italy is a right-wing. Isn't that fascist? According to Wikipedia, right-wing means fascist. Of course, that's a fraudulent description. That is not true. But you know, under her definition and Wikipedia, Jimmy Wales' Wikipedia definition, which is a lie and a fraud, fascism is right-wing. Well, Italy has a right-wing government under Meloni. So who the hell is she talking to? She's describing the very country she's in, according to her definition of it. Of course, that's not Italy. Wow. And so her profound answer is we help each other. Really? The $70 billion a year the U.S. gives in foreign assistance to developing countries, you mean like that? You mean like the United States Navy patrolling the 7 seas, ensuring the shipping lanes of the world are open from terrorism and piracy so that people can get goods and services and the world can operate? I mean, is that how we help each other? Or do we send some airhead, hag, washed up has-been that nobody has any interest in and hasn't been in any movie in frickin' 30 years to Turin to tell us how we all need to help each other? Wow. Yes, Italy changed sides during both world wars.
Now, we can't just say that women should help women because that's the only way we have survived. So,
really? So I'm sorry. So men didn't protect women. That never happened. It never happened. So when you were being chased on the plains of the Serengeti 180,000 years ago by rival clans, there were no men to intervene and club them over the head so you could escape and survive. Yeah, there were no men. See, this arrogant asshat. Women, the people like this drive me nuts. These women who think they know what they're talking about. First off, any guaranteed rights that women have in this country are a consequence of men. Not of women, but of men. Because men were the ones in government. Men had to change the laws. Just like how this country became a kaleidoscope of multiracial ethnicity instead of an overwhelmingly white Anglo-Saxon Protestant nation. It became one because of white men. White men who changed the laws. White men who protected women's rights. White men who stood up. And this arrogant shithead really doesn't know what she's talking about.
Far. We must say that good men must help good men.
Ooh,
and
profound.
those good men must be very aware that a lot of your friends are not good men.
So, did you grow up in a middle-class family? Oh, good God. So she says Americans are dumb. They're uneducated. Listen to what's coming out of her mouth.
And you can't continue to pretend that your friends are good men.
By the way, when someone does this affectation, that is the height of arrogance. That is condescending. She is lecturing to these Italians. She is telling them that they're idiots by trusting Donald Trump. Don't trust Donald Trump. That's what she's saying. Unbelievable.
When they are not good men. And you must be very clear-minded and understand that your friends who are not good men are dangerous, violent men, and you have to keep them away from your daughters, your wives, and your girlfriends. Because this is a time when we know...
But I'm confused. She just said that the only way women survive is because women protect them. Men are dangerous and evil. So how can you, as a man, keep dangerous men away from your wives, your daughters, and your girlfriends if only women can do it?
Can no longer look away when bad men are bad.
Oh dear God! Oh my God! This is the height of stupidity. Maybe we should leave the USA as well. Oh my God! Yeah, she should leave the USA. It'd be nice if she did. Now it's time for Alec Baldwin, the man who killed a woman because he's too stupid to handle a loaded firearm and escape justice. So here we go. And the Italian translation is at the bottom, so I won't rely on the Italian translation. This asshat. Here's another asshat. Alec Baldwin. Let's bring this moron up. This man should be in prison right now. He's suffered no consequences for his role in manslaughter. None whatsoever. Convicted of no crimes, despite the fact that he clearly played a role in this. So let's go ahead and get this up on the screen. Okay, let me get down there. I'll cover up his San Pellegrino, whatever that water is there. Okay, let's come over this side. A little space for me over here. Let's listen to the genius Alec Baldwin, this asshat of an actor who looks like he's starting to go bald there. He's already hideous looking. Let's see how it goes from here.
In my country, without going into significant detail, half the people in the country are happy, and half the people in the country are very unhappy.
Yeah, well, he got that part right. I'll give Alec Baldwin credit for that. He actually got something correct. Half the country is thrilled to death, and half are unhappy. The difference is the half that are unhappy this time are malignant troublemakers, and the half that were unhappy last time simply went about their business and went back to work.
It's a very difficult time in the United States, and I think the only way people can learn what is happening, and film is unique in this way, not only what's happening in the United States, but around the world.
Okay, so first off, Alec Baldwin is in Turin for a film festival. Why is this moron who killed a woman because he's an idiot and can't handle a firearm, and Sharon Stone is only famous for exposing her vagina, why are they talking about politics at a film festival? Let's talk about your shitty movies that you're there to promote.
What's happening, you might not learn from the news. Television news in the United States is a business. They have to make money.
Kind of like
again,
Hollywood.
Not to go into great detail about that, but there's a hole, there's a vacuum.
In his head. There's a hole, there's a vacuum in Alec Baldwin's head. True.
There is a gap, if you will, in information for Americans. Americans are very...
There's a gap? There's a gap? What's the gap, Alec? Apparently you don't watch my program, dipshit. There's no gap here. I cover world news. I cover politics, economics, culture, science, everything under the sun. And I do it from Madagascar to Maine, and Maine to Beijing, and Pyongyang to Canberra. So there's no gap here. You're just a lying sack of horse manure. Yeah, there's a gap between his ears, is right.
Uninformed about reality, what's really going on with climate change.
Oh, so Americans are uninformed. Here we go. With climate change. Says the guy who flew on a private jet to Turin. Okay, yeah. Thank you about your arrogance, your well-informed horse manure.
Ukraine, Israel, you name it, all the biggest topics in the world. Americans have an appetite for a little bit of information.
Kind of like morons who handle firearms that are loaded and murder women or kill them, whichever term is appropriate here. Yeah, apparently like an idiot that doesn't know how to handle a firearm and shoots a defenseless woman and suffers no consequences, no financial consequences. He's made no payments to the family for their loss. They had to pay for the funeral of this woman. He has had no remorse whatsoever for his role in shooting a woman. And here he is on the stage insulting Americans, telling us we're idiots when he can't handle a firearm.
That vacuum is filled by the film industry, not just the...
Excuse me. So Alec Baldwin is trying to tell the Turin Film Festival that the information gap that Americans have is filled by Hollywood, by the film industry. The sad thing is he's right. People around the world in America watch the films and they think that's how things are. So he's actually right in this respect.
Independent film industry, not just the documentary film industry, which are very important around the world, but by narrative films as well, where the filmmakers and the buyers, the studio.
Okay, so let me just make a comment about that. The proliferation of idiots who have no professionalism when it comes to being a journalist is really annoying. You saw that, right? This guy's recording this interview, and some turd ball picks his ass up, walks in front of the camera, and blocks the view. When I've been at press conferences in South Africa, we have the so-called journalists who are running their mouths or chewing and eating when people are recording. Have a little consideration and respect for the profession. They have no respect for whatsoever. So anyway, let's continue with Alec Baldwin. We got another 30 seconds of this genius sharing his enlightened worldview.
And the networks and the streamers are willing to go that way. They're willing to try to make films that are not only entertaining but informative as well. So I think right now is probably one of the most significant times in our history, since film began, since the film experience began. It became an art form, it became a business, a huge business. Now is probably one of the most important times in our history for us to make films that will teach people about what reality is around the world.
Grazie mille, faccio io una domanda, poi dopo
to teach people what reality around the world is. The reality is that a young woman is dead at your hand. You have suffered no consequences, criminal or civil liability whatsoever. Why is that? You killed her 3 years ago, and you're in Turin living up your life of luxury. Yeah, you got very quiet when it was close to you going to jail. New Mexico authorities are disgraceful and shameful law enforcement officials and judicial officials for not prosecuting and imprisoning this man, or at least make him pay a very stiff penalty for his killing of a woman. Rudy says, struggle to find a good movie on Netflix. Yeah, I know. I've been watching documentaries. There's not much good on Netflix. I'm going to cancel that. I keep telling myself. Can't listen to the poison coming out of their holes, says Mike. God, these idiots make the world a mess it is. They are. That's exactly right, Ken. People like this and Dan Corder and Melanie Vervoort and Rachel Maddow, Joe Scarborough. These idiots make the world a terrible place. Terrible place. He wants to talk about reality while sipping champagne and living a life of luxury and flying on private jets and telling us and lecturing us about climate change. Yeah. Film industry must teach us about reality. Exactly. It's a fantasy world. And, he claims that the movies are important beyond documentaries. The fictional movies are important too because it informs the uninformed idiots in America. Wow. Patrick says, sir, you cannot say kill or dead on a podcast. You have to say on alive. Informative, like learning what a woman is, just like South Africa useless yesterday, you stay useless tomorrow. Yeah, it's unbelievable, folks. Liam Menard says, I don't comment because I have a potty mouth. I got you. This invokes a potty mouth behavior from people. It's just crazy. He's blind, arrogant, misinformed. You're right, Charles. Climate change is a con, says Rudy. He should be in jail, Gavin. I agree. The gap between his ears. That's what I was saying. He has a gap between his ears. It's always mind-blowing that people who become famous and rich in a certain country, be that America or New Zealand, for argument's sake, will criticize the same country. Patriotism is dead. No, patriotism is not dead, Jan. We have a lot of famous people and a lot of celebrities that are very patriotic. Kid Rock is patriotic. Kelsey Grammer is patriotic. Patricia Heaton's patriotic. James Woods is patriotic. There are many, but they're ostracized by a corrupt industry. It's ironic that Hollywood was formed by independent, free-thinking people, a lot of Jewish Americans, a lot of unusual people, and it became a global entertainment center. And then it was a mechanism for traders to gravitate towards. And the traders gravitated towards it because the freewheeling and freedom they had, and they betrayed America in the film industry and became communist. And so they were rooted out in the 1940s and 50s for their betrayal of America. And then they pled, we were being persecuted. Yeah, you were being persecuted because you were communist. You supported communists. The Eisenbergs were guilty. Guilty. No question about it. The Venona Project has been declassified now. We see the actual intercepts. We see the actual information on what these people did communicating with Soviet spies. And the same with the Hollywood actors who cried that they were McCarthyism. You were actually treasonous bastards. And so Hollywood was very conservative for a period of time, and then it all shifted in the late 60s, early 70s. And since then, it's become a cesspool and den of repulsive anti-American scumbags. The handful of patriotic Americans who actually live and work in Hollywood is oftentimes unknown because they have to cover their political beliefs up, lest they not have any acting gigs. When was the last time you saw James Wood in a movie? When was the last time you saw Kevin Sorbo on a big screen anywhere? All the movies he's done have been self-financed or have been done by Christian groups. Kevin Sorbo is an incredible actor, and he's simply cast aside. Patricia Heaton is a hell of an actress. You don't see her in anything right now. Meerkat says, sorry you have to go through this agonizing crap to inform us. Thanks for your perspective. No, Meerkat, look, it needs to be done. See, people, it's like why do you give Julius Malema oxygen? Because he spews garbage, it must be refuted. Somebody must refute it, and I do it. And somebody must give the truth, and that's what I do. Yeah, she does sound like Kamala Harris. My goodness. All right, what else you guys said while I was looking at that? Fleshin says, From is a good watch. What? What's that? I thought Hollywood was run by these fat smoking Cuban cigars. I don't know what that is. A new Reagan movie shows Hollywood communist Kevin Sorbo's in the movie, Chris. Oh, Kevin Sorbo's in that movie? Okay, I didn't see that one, Hendo. Okay. Dune Prophecy is an excellent series. No, it's woke and it ruined it. I watched a documentary on Moses last night, and the Medians were depicted as black Africans. There were no black Africans in the Sinai Desert when Moses was there. What a vile misrepresentation of what happened in the Sinai with Moses. Unbelievable. Ark says we shouldn't give idiots airtime. The problem is that they get airtime on TikTok and on Facebook and on Twitter and in popular media. They wind up there. Excuse me. Something came through again. Hopefully not a problem here. No, it doesn't. Someone just wishing me a happy Thanksgiving. Okay, so a friend of mine, colleague. All right, yeah, so we have to do that. Underacting situation. What was the real round doing on set? Exactly. Why are they having live ammunition on a set? There shouldn't be live ammunition on a Hollywood set. It's supposed to be fantasy. So here he is. Here's the genius himself. Let's just get to that now. This is Mr. Sir Alec Baldwin, Sir Dipshit. Ignorant voters fueled Trump's win. Alec Baldwin says Americans are very uninformed about reality. Really, says the man who doesn't know how to handle a firearm. You never take a firearm without looking to see if it's loaded, if it's unsafe, ever. Never accept a firearm from anybody, even in the middle of a battle. Even in the middle of a battle, I've checked my firearm to make sure that it was, handled properly. Give them the bread and circuses, they will never revolt. Yep. In my country, without going into significant detail, he said, half the people are very unhappy. Yeah. So, the 2021 shooting of cinematographer Halyna Hutchins on the set of movie Rust was not mentioned. So he only gave the interview on condition that they wouldn't ask him about him shooting a woman. That would be a coward. That's a coward. So Alec Baldwin is a coward. He's an uninformed, arrogant coward. Well, lawyers say that we can't label them as guilty people. So the illegal Zama-Zamas who went into a mine trespassing, number one, then mining unsafely, number two, illegal violation, then stealing gold, number three, then refusing to surrender law enforcement, four, when there's a criminal charge against them. That's 4 crimes right there, and I'm not even a prosecutor. I'm going to have more crimes. So telling us that we can't say they're guilty, well, they have been convicted in court, but the mere fact that they've trespassed is guilt. You simply need to see them trespassing and know they've committed a crime. So they are guilty. They are guilty. This nonsense is ridiculous. Society for the Protection of the Constitution's appeal to assist illegal minors with necessities was denied in court as police actions were deemed appropriate. Ibrahim Omar observed people labeling as illegal minors without trial and noted insufficient medical aid, suggesting the need for urgent legal relief. Community leader Tembile Botman expressed disappointment with ongoing rescue efforts at the mine, with $1 million spent daily amid reports of dire conditions on the ground. There is no rescue effort here. These are criminals who should simply surrender. Case closed. What's this? Who's censoring questions? Has something been censored? Hang on a second here. Hey, Stephanie Michael's here. Where have you been? Oh, you've been sick. I'm so sorry. Oh, Hollywood's been sick. I thought you were sick. Okay. What's being censored here? I'm not censoring anything. I don't see any comments that are missing. All right. So, Stilfontein. More information on the mine, the Zama-Zamas, and Stilfontein. The government is providing care for 96 children from outside of South Africa who were arrested as part of the Zama-Zamas. Wow. The Northwest Provincial Department of Social Development has received information indicating that about 96 undocumented children, criminal aliens, have been arrested and are detained as part of the illegal mining at Stilfontein. Most of the illicit miners, including undocumented children, are suspected to be from SADC countries, mainly Mozambique, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Lesotho. Wow. So 96 of those who've actually surrendered at the mine to authorities are actually underage, illegal, criminal entry children. And now you're paying for their care. Now you're paying for the care. You are going to the border with Alec Baldwin. Illegal electricity connections are costing the country a fortune, as much as $30 billion in revenue, says Cogicenso Ramacopa at the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana. Conversion of 2.1 million customers to the new prepaid system saw only 400,000 people comply. No. Eskom is trying to get $30 billion a year lost revenue. Well, no wonder the company is in trouble. No wonder they keep raising the rates for the people who actually pay their bills. Yep, because others are freeloading. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what have I been telling you about ever since the inception of this channel? What have I said? When it came to the clean energy religious zealots of climate change, what did I tell you? What is the answer? It's not solar. It's not wind. It's not wave. It's not algae. None of those. It's not hydroelectric power, all of which can play a role, all of which play a useful role. However, what have I been saying all along? I told you the answer to the world's electricity crisis is nuclear power. But the wackadoodles in America and around the world keep preventing the commissioning of new nuclear reactors. And I said how stupid and foolish that is, because why? What does the world have today that we didn't have in 1970, which is when these frickin' reactors were built in 1960s and 70s, 50 years ago, 3 Mile Island? What did we not have then? We didn't have small modular reactors, which can power 10,000 homes, and you can build small ones, which the amount of fissile material in there is not enough that could present a danger for the T group to get it. And also, even if it went up, it's going to have a very small footprint. So what is the answer for the future? They're safe, they're effective, they're easy to secure, and they're easy to fuel. Small modular reactors. Guess who came on board? You want to guess who's on board with Chris Wyatt now? Well, you know Hugo Kruger's on board with me because we know Hugo was a proponent of nuclear power. Who? And of course, the whistleblower from Eskom, who passed away, he believed in nuclear power. But who? None other than cogent Ramakopa. He's on board with Chris Wyatt. Look what now everybody's gonna be talking about this. Oh, and they're all gonna jump on the bandwagon. Oh no, I agree. It's a great idea. We should have small modular reactors. Yeah, we should all have small modular. Oh yes. Oh, this new technology. That's what's gonna happen. You watch. November 27th, 2024. My Kaiser Sose viewers know that I've said this all along. And now, Ramakopa agrees with me, except that he's full of it because he misleads you. And I'm going to explain to you how he misleads you. So, Ramakopa makes the case for small modular reactors. What? And resuscitation in South Africa's nuclear industry. There is Koeberg, right there on the west coast of South Africa, within explosion range of Cape Town. South Africa is reimagining its nuclear future with a focus on small modular reactors. Wow, nuclear energy is back on the table, but not likely to look like the sort of large-scale conventional plant that was mooted under Jacob Zuma's Russia plan. Ramakopa was referring to small modular reactors, not conventional large reactors like the Koeberg nuclear power station. He said that what we have accepted is the small modular reactors are the future. He said there's about 50 or 60 different small modular reactor technologies that are at different stages of concept. I think it's only the Chinese that are advanced. We know they have the capability. In fact, the genesis of the current generation of small modular reactors is the pebble bed modular reactor. We have sunk over 10 billion, 12 billion rand into that program and abandoned it for reasons that were explained at the time. So he says the Chinese are the ones that have the best technology for modular reactors. That is a fairy tale. Do a Google search and you will find out that he's full of crap. 5 of the world's leading small modular reactor companies. This is a report by Natalie Voigt on January 9th, 2023. And none of them are Chinese. So the first one is NuScale. NuScale has an advanced nuclear reactor company, went public in 2022. They are active in Poland, and they have already had a flagship power plant with 924 megawatts of electricity that will be up as of 2029. They also signed a deal in Glasgow last year with 28 new members, the Powering Past Coal Alliance. Yep. Eastern European country, Poland, generates 70% of electricity from coal. Now they're going to change it. TerraPower is an innovation company that was founded in 2008 by Bill Gates. Yep. And they are building a small modular reactor in Wyoming. Westinghouse Electric Company, leading small modular reactor company, Westinghouse Electric, propelled to the forefront of the nuclear industry with its transportable eVinci microreactor. More of a nuclear battery than a traditional nuclear reactor, the high-temperature heat pipe reactor can generate 5 megawatts of electricity and up to 13 megawatts of heat from its 15-megawatt solid thermal core. And that right there, what Westinghouse has developed, is exactly what I've been talking about. BWXT Advanced Technologies, a subsidiary of BWX, based in Lynchburg, Virginia. Yep. Kairos Power, with high-temperature molten salt reactors to provide competitive, reliable, and responsible nuclear energy. None of these companies that are in the top of the marketplace are actually Chinese. Ramakopa is full of it. This is another power grab and money grab for the Chinese, who don't even have the technology. Tim Priest, if someone wants to discuss the climate but not include nuclear in the discussion, they're not serious. Exactly, Tim. 100% correct. 100% correct. You must include nuclear, but the zealots have kept us from moving forward for decades. And we still have land for farming, says Ken. What else have I missed here? Ken says, spot on, Chris. Yeah, exactly. I've been saying small modular reactors over and over again. Well, the government of national unity in South Africa is hitting a speed bump. But it's not dead. In reducing the bloated cabinet. One of the goals is to reduce the size of the cabinet. And the cabinet that's currently out there is being portrayed as a bloated, oversized cabinet. But in fact, it's not the biggest. Jacob Zuma had the biggest. He had over 60 ministers in his cabinet. I think it was 70. There's 77 people total in the cabinet, including deputy ministers now. But the media has collective amnesia when it comes to this, including Khulekani Magubane, who's the author of this article, a financial reporter, seems to have forgotten the size of Jacob Zuma's cabinet. So, Finance Minister Enoch Gondwana told Parliament today the government of national unity necessitated the government put its plans to downsize the cabinet on pause, but these plans were not scrapped altogether. Now, the issue here, of course, is that the Government National Union includes multiple parties. In order to have an effective government where people buy into it, people have to have a stake if they're part of a coalition. Therefore, they had to increase the number of deputy minister positions, and so you have a larger cabinet. He justified it. Well, that's his prerogative. A possible tornado hit parts of Randfontein, according to News 24 earlier today. South African Weather Service said damaging winds in Randfontein on Wednesday were possibly a tornado. Homes and a shopping center were damaged in the storm. Weather warnings remained in effect at the time of this publishing. Wow. Ward councilor in the area was Hulet Hild, whose home was hit by the storm, said multiple residents have been left with badly damaged homes. Hild said disaster management teams were on site and have been trying to assess residents' needs with patching their roofs ahead of more expected rains. The roof of my house was damaged as well as the windows. So right now I'm trying to get that fixed and help residents as well. My Wi-Fi connection was damaged during the storm, and as a result, I'm unable to communicate with any other platform. You don't have cell phone? Your mobile doesn't work? You should get a better provider. Well, a lack of assets being reported by the Daily Maverick regarding the heads of political parties who have an obligation to disclose their financial holdings. Now, strangely, and I'm going to mention this because there's some ministers here who in the parliament, leaders of their political parties respectively, who claim they have no assets. They own no homes and they have no stocks and bonds. Now, I put the following to you. If a member of the government, especially somebody that's been in government for 10 or 15 years, has no savings, no stocks, no bonds, no investments. They don't have to necessarily own a home because you move around a lot, so that's difficult to do. But if they have no savings, that means that they're wholly dependent on their salary from being in government, doesn't it? So what does that tell you about someone who has no ability to save and invest, who has no forethought to plan for the future, who doesn't look to the future and doesn't take care of their responsibilities to themselves, to their spouse, to their offspring by investing for the future? That's a person I'd have trouble following because they don't know how to save seed corn for the future. They don't look to the future. They are current crisis managers. That's who they are. Well, who are these people who have no assets? Well, the Daily Maverick says the following. Rebecca Davis reports the annual register of members' interest forces members of parliament to disclose their assets as a vital tool to ensure accountability to the public. But they do take it seriously. Of the 17 political party leaders sworn as MPs in the 7th Parliament, 4 have 0 shares and no property. Wow. The EFF's Julius Malema, the DA's John Steenhuisen, and the Pan-African Congress's Mwanzale Nyonso, and the National Colored Cape Congress's Fidel Adams all declared they owned nothing at all when it came to shares or property in the latest register. All 4 were asked by the Daily Maverick for confirmation this was the case, with only Steenhuisen responding to confirm that his disclosure was accurate. Steenhuisen indicated that on the register he rents a property in Sea Point. The other 3 gave no indication of how they're housed, although they would be eligible for subsidized parliamentary housing in Cape Town, and Nyonso, as Minister for Land Reform and Rural Development, would be eligible for ministerial housing. A July City Press report involving alleged cruelty to an African gray parrot, Adams was listed as a homeowner in Mitchell's Plains, but there's no record that he has a home in Mitchell's Plains. So, Fidel Adams, Julius Malema, and John Steenhuisen have no home, they have no shares, they have no financial investments. Number one, I find that hard to believe, especially Julius Malema. Number 2, I find it shocking. Malema has been in government for 15 years. Steenhuisen has been in government for 15 years, if not longer, and they don't have no savings, they have no investments. This means people like that are very open to corruption. I'm not claiming any of them are corrupt. I'm just saying that they're open to corruption. They also lack vision as a leader. How can you be the head of a political party and not have a plan for what happens 5-10 years? So who's responsible if Julius Malema keels over tomorrow? Someone's left with the bill because he's no plans for future. He has no insurance. He has no stocks, no bonds, no investment. He owns nothing. I have a hard time trusting people like that. Zoom link Ronaldo wants. Yeah, okay, thanks for that, Ronaldo. Hang on a second. I'll make one right now. Zoom, yeah. So, I mean, honestly, it's very difficult to figure that crap out. 12 to 1. Okay, save. Very difficult to figure that out. I mean, come on, give me my damn mouse back. There we go. Copy invitation. I don't need that over there. So when members of a government don't have any assets and they don't rely on anything except the salary that they're getting. There's my, oh, it's just reminding me of my Zoom meeting. Oh, that's because I just put it up. Oh, that was pretty quick, actually. Okay. There it is, Ronaldo. We'll get started here in a few minutes. You'll be transferred automatically over to Wednesdays with the Colonel on Ronaldo. But I mean, honestly, can you trust people? That's a very scary situation. What's the percentage of white Americans owning stocks? It's something about 50 or 60%, I think it is, probably, Charlie. Don't know off the top of my head. But you have to understand, a lot of people own stocks, not directly, but through retirement funds and through mutual funds. So if you buy a mutual fund, it'll have stock in General Motors, it'll have stock in Toyota, it'll have stock in Tesla. You don't own that stock, you own the mutual fund. So people, they're considered stock owners through that. The number of Americans who own stock outright, I don't know the percentage. I think it's around 30 or 40% of Americans, and I would be one of those. I own shares in Motorola. What's left of Motorola. I own shares in Hershey. I own shares in Abbott Laboratories, things like that. So yes. But anyway, and I began saving for my future at the age of 18. I set money aside starting at the age of 18 when I went into the workforce. Yep, I'd worked in the workforce prior to that, but I couldn't save anything. I needed the money for college, and I needed money on the farm, pay for bills. Neville says, my oldest daughter's lesbian, lives with her partner. Okay, that's interesting. Where'd that come from? Oh, Erica's sons. No. Oh, yeah. Her son she lives with, very, 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 very conservative, smart guy. Yep. 100%. So, all right. So before we wrap up here, I want to say, and I didn't get to all the news. I got tons of news about the U.S., but mostly about Africa and around the world. Today, by the way, is the Namibia elections. The elections are going to end here, I think, in about 5 minutes. The polls will close in Namibia, and we'll see who the new president of Namibia will be. Will it be the woman? I don't know. We'll see. So I'm looking forward to see what happens there. Also, don't forget, Ireland has elections on Friday. And Ireland elections look like the idiots that have destroyed the country, the center-left parties, were going to continue to rule until the sitting prime minister stepped on his foot by being disrespectful and rude to a resident when he visited her and got caught in film. So a lot of people are angry, and it's caused a brouhaha in Ireland, and they're thinking maybe Sinn Féin may do a lot better than they planned. I don't know that's going to happen. I think that the idiot leftists are still going to control Ireland. And there's camps of military-aged men wearing balaclavas in the rural areas of Ireland, chasing Irish away from walking on public walkways. Ireland is rapidly becoming a center of non-Irishness. And so that election's on Friday, and I think they're going to be hit with a stunning rebuke, these pukes who run Ireland. I don't know that's going to be the case in Namibia, although I am predicting that SWAPO will fall below 50% and that they will have to form a coalition. Could be worse, but I have no data to support it being worse. So that's what I've said. All right, so when the results come out, probably in a day or two, not like USA, California, where it takes 3 weeks to get results. By the way, do we even have those races decided yet? Let's take a look at that. Before we wrap up and go to Ronaldo, I want to know, New York Times, it's been a couple days, haven't had a chance to look at the elections, so let's take a look and see what the totals are. President, Senate, and House, uncalled House races. Let's see if we still have uncalled House races. Yep, we still have 3 uncalled House races. Can you believe this? We have, the Democrats have moved ahead in 2 races now. Oh, that's it. They keep it going until they can take the race. So now in the California 13, Gray is ahead by 180 votes, not been ahead the entire race. The entire race not been ahead for 3 weeks, and suddenly Gray is ahead by 182 votes. Wow, that's insane. Absolutely insane. What a crock. What a crock. California's 13th. Adam Gray, and the incumbent is Duterte, a Republican. And Adam Gray is now ahead by 100 and some. Well, no, it's not. That's not up to date. So 500, 300. Yeah, he's ahead by less than 200 votes now. And the Republican had been ahead the entire time this race, and suddenly this is happening. In the Tran case, that one there, Tran was behind the entire time until about a week ago and suddenly surged ahead over Michelle Steele in a overwhelmingly conservative district geographically, but they added a piece of LA that made it a Democrat. And Miller Meeks is still ahead in Iowa, but Miller Meeks' lead is still about 800. It hasn't changed. And she's the incumbent. That's a close race there. A very strange district, which runs east of Des Moines all the way over to the river. So it's very strange district. Anyway, so she's ahead in 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6 counties. Yep. Anyway, that's that. So let's take a look at the presidential race. Donald Trump is now at 76,883,000 votes. They've got him below 50% now. They got him at 49.96% of the votes. That's what the Democrats have wanted. They wanted to say he didn't have majority of votes. That's what they've been waiting on. So they tabulate votes. That's what it's all about. Benjamin Labascani says here that the port of Lobito in Angola is full of Marines in advance of Biden's visit next week. No, it won't be full of Marines. That has nothing to do with it. Marines don't go when the president goes somewhere. That's not true. Marines don't provide security, so it would have nothing to do with Biden's visit if they're there. I don't know if there's Marines there. There may very well be there for a mill-to-mill mission. It has nothing to do with that. Amazing how the votes just materialize. How they just keep coming up with votes. Yep. Anyway, Neville said, Chris, when is Alec going to be president and Sharon VP? Pretty soon. All right, that's it, folks. We're going to wrap up here. We'll see you over on Ronaldo. If you're going to go over there and join us, you'll be redirected there automatically, and I'll see you in a few moments with Ronaldo on Wednesdays with the Colonel. All right? Cool beans. Thanks a lot for being here, folks. Appreciate you being here. Cheers. Be sure to hit that like button. We haven't hit 100 likes? Come on. What's up with that? That's so easy to do. Hit that like button. Cheers.